This is dash module number 1 from the Knights of England Season 3-4 dash. It incorporates the compass display, which comprises 4 arrowhead LEDs and 4 bar gauges, each containing 10 elements. Now, if you look closely at this module, you'll see that we've created the bar gauge displays using individual LEDs. We feel that this is more authentic to the original, although the artwork on the board does allow for the use of the bar gauge elements which we use on other dash modules. If we have a look at the construction of the unit, as all the units on the Knights of England dash, we have an overlay, a two-sided circuit board and a plexiglass rear panel. In the case of dash module number 1, all the connections are made via a 9-way D-type connector. Now, although this module has perhaps the fewest number of display components, it's possibly one of the most complex to try and explain the operation of, but if you have a look on the website, we've had a good go at trying to describe how it works. Basically, this module is a display unit only. The actual signals required by it have to come from a remote unit. Now, at the time of creating this video, the functional compass is still under development, but what we do have, and what we'll look at shortly, is a sequencer circuit which will make the display rotate in sequence, so that you can actually have a display on here, although it wouldn't be a functional compass at this time. This module here is actually an early prototype unit, as indicated by the fact we've got an unsightly link wire on here, so the actual production units that are available for purchase don't incorporate that. They're a new version of the circuit board. So let's go ahead and look at how this module looks when it illuminates. Okay, what we have here is a test rig that we've hooked up to connect the appropriate inputs to the DM1 module to make it operate. Now, DM1 itself requires 6 discrete inputs, which are switches to ground. 4 of them, represented by these switches here, determine the amount of each bar gauge which will be on. It determines the position within a quadrant. The other 2 switches determine whether it's in the north or south or east or west side. That's probably easier to understand if we have a look at what happens when we change these inputs. So the switches at the moment are set up to represent 1, 0, 1, 0, 0 being down and representing a ground connection, and 1 being up representing an open circuit. If I change the input to 1, 0, 0, 0, like this, the first element in the next quadrant comes on. At the moment you can see we're in the northwest section of the compass display, mostly north but just slightly west of north. Anywhere in between north and west will have 2 arrows on, whereas as we saw before, if we're heading exactly along one compass point like due north, only 1 arrow will be on. So we start off with north. As this switch changes to 0, we become slightly northwest, and as we go around the corresponding sequence of inputs, 1, 0, 0, 1 will be a bit more west and a bit less north, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1, 1. Brings us right round to due west. The same thing happens as we go around alternative quadrants. For example, now we're northwest. Let's switch the north-south switch into the south quadrant, which has no effect when we're due west, but as we then start to put the sequence of these inputs back again in reverse, you'll see that instead of being in the northwest quadrant, we're indicating the southwest quadrant. So let's go back around that sequence now with the switch, the north-south selection switch, in south instead of north. So we go back to 0, 0, 1, 0. You can see that the south is now illuminating and the south arrowhead is illuminating. 0, 1, 1, 0. 0, 1, 1, 1. 0, 1, 0, 1. 0, 1, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 1. 1, 0, 0, 1. 1, 0, 0, 0. And 1, 0, 1, 0, which is where we started off, a full bar on south now, because this switch is in the south position as opposed to the north position. And we can do the same thing by now switching to the west-east section to east and going back round the cycle again from 1, 0, 1, 0 to 1, 0, 0, 0. You can see that now we're in the southeast quadrant as opposed to the northwest quadrant where we started off. So let's go round again. 1, 0, 0, 1. 0, 0, 0, 1. 0, 0, 0, 0. 0, 1, 0, 0. 0, 1, 0, 1. 0, 1, 1, 1. 0, 1, 1, 0. And 0, 0, 1, 0. And 0, 0, 1, 1. Taking us to due east. So that's 3/4 of the way round. We may as well complete the cycle by now switching the north-south switch back to the north position, and we'll now be in the northeast quadrant as we go back around the cycle from 0, 0, 1, 1 to 0, 0, 1, 0. You see we're northeast now. 0, 1, 1, 1. 0, 1, 1, 1. 0, 1, 0, 1. 0, 1, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 1. 1, 0, 0, 1. 1, 0, 0, 0. And 1, 0, 1, 0. And that's the full cycle. Now, I don't know if any of you out there are still listening at the moment, because I'm sure that's quite boring, but for those of you technically minded you might find it interesting. What we're going to look at now is a sequencer circuit which will automatically cycle through those inputs that we've just been through, so that the display will go around in a circle. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so here we have the DM1 module set up to our sequencer circuit, and when we power it on it should just cycle through that sequence of inputs that we went through very long-windedly and very manually a few moments ago. So here we go, let's apply power. You can see that we've set it up to just cycle through those inputs, and the sequencer circuit which is available at this time can be varied in speed. We can take the speed right the way down, so let's do that. To this kind of speed. Or you can adjust the sequencer by winding up the potentiometer control on the circuit like this. To this kind of speed. Whichever you prefer driving with. So let's just set it again to somewhere in the middle, which is what looks pretty good, I think. So there you have it, dash module number 1. It's the only one of the KOE dash modules which isn't completely self-contained. The actual module itself is just a display unit, and as you can see it requires a remote additional module, either this sequencer circuit or the fully functional compass driver, which will be available in the very near future.